in a sense, it would be better if people had courage, congruence, and could just sort of name like, here's where I'm at, here's what I'm available for, sort of take it or leave it, or I'm wanting to downshift the connection because I notice I'm no longer into it, or I'm dating elsewhere, or I'm not dating, or whatever the story is. So then in a way that's, bringing much more truth, right, into personal truth into the conversation. That would work well for someone who also prioritizes that in their value set, right, where they are sort of a truth first person. But a lot of people are harmony before truth, whether they're conscious of that or not. And so, I've also been with lots of clients who have been honest in that situation, and they don't get the thumbs back of like, hey, thanks so much just for telling me, good luck, appreciate it. Some of them get that, but about half or more of the time, the person just like unmatches them. In a sense, there's maybe some behavior back that's not particularly pro-social, right? Either just ignored, unmatched, but not something that's like, hey, got it, thanks. So I'm also just putting that in the picture because at least half the time people aren't being incentivized, I think, to do the thing that you're saying might be the better way of proceeding. And I kind of agree with you. Yeah.
And I think that you're bringing up a really good point, because at some point in this conversation, whether it's a deep dive into this or just we kind of touch on it, but I think it's really important to, whatever experience you're having in your life, if it's happening again and again and you're the common denominator of it, right, to ask the question, how am I creating breadcrumbers? How am I creating people ghosting me? And I think that's a really important inquiry to ask. And it talks specifically to what you're saying here, is that if there's a way that you're showing up in the connection where you are adversary or judgmental, or say you're already crossing boundaries, or maybe you're moving too fast in connections or pressuring somebody, you very well could be evoking, through who you're being, this kind of behavior from other people, where the cost of them confronting you with the truth, there's just not enough of a relationship there for them to put that ante in. So they just exit. And that's not to shift blame. That's not to say, hey, you're to blame for these things, but it is to say, how do we put the power back in your lap?
Yeah.
And so that you can actually examine, if you have a reoccurring experience in your life, rather than sitting in the place of feeling like a victim, how can you move into the realm of just inquiring about it as a possible creator of the situation, and using what the world is giving you as feedback as a way to examine and take stock of how you're showing up and what are you doing that might actually be creating this kind of behavior in other people.
Yeah.
Not because it's the truth, but just as an invitation for you to step more into agency empowerment.
Yeah. That's great. There's two kind of new expressions in a sense that I'm hearing in this session. So one is, could you be breadcrumbing yourself? Right? This is like to breadcrumb oneself. I've never heard it as what would that be? Like a reflexive verb? I've never heard that.
Yeah.
But then also, how could you be creating breadcrumbing? And not from a place of blame, but from a place of, this could be an enlightening inquiry from you so that you can actually take more power back and basically get more of what you want, which is probably consistency or connection or the truth or some combination of them. So super like that.